Okay, good morning everyone, and Hazak Baruch. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday morning. As we are studying together Perashat Korah. Perashat begins, Vayikach Korah ben Yitzhar ben Kehat ben Levi. And like we discussed yesterday, Korah decides to gather and accuse Moshe. He conspires against Moshe Rabbeinu that Moshe is really making all of this up. He is not really from being sent by God. He's making up the rules as he goes. He just wants the power for himself. He accuses Moshe of nepotism, of giving power to his brother Aharon. And so Korah decides to stage a rebellion against Moshe Rabbeinu. He gathers very important people, by the way. And not just people, important people. Rosh Sanhedrin, you're talking about chief justices, Supreme Court leaders. These are smart people. And somehow Korah was able to talk to them one-on-one and get them to buy in to his coup, to his attack on Moshe Rabbeinu. Torah tells us one of these people that came with him was On ben Pelet. On ben Pelet, the Midrash says, why was he called On and why was he called Pelet? Obviously that was maybe his literal name, but we know the name also sometimes has deeper meaning to a person than just just a label. So that actually it says that On comes from the word Aninut. He was an onen. Onen we know was a person in mourning. On was in mourning his entire life. The rest of his life he was mourning because, like we'll see in a minute, he was actually saved from the death, from the death that faced the rest of the conspirators. Originally he was on Korah's team, but eventually, we're going to see in a minute how, but his wife saves him. And so his entire life he was mourning over the death of those people that he was with. So that's why his name was mourning. Pelet, Shena'asu bo pelaot. The word Pele is miracles. He is called a miracle man because miracles happened to him. The fact that he ended up being saved, the fact that he wasn't swept along with the rest of them eventually, is a miracle, nothing short. Amar Rav explains Rav, On ben Pelet, Ishto hitzilatu. Let me tell you something about On, says Rav. On's wife saved him. Amrale, she said to him, Malach bahade pelukta. What is in it for you in this dispute? Aharon kahana rabba. If Aharon stays Kohen Gadol, at talmida, then you're just his disciple. Korah kahana rabba. And if Korah becomes the Kohen Gadol, at talmida, you will also be his disciple. Regardless of who wins, you have nothing to win. You do not have a horse in this race, as they say. There's nothing in it for you. You will not become Kohen Gadol, my dear. So On, what are you doing? You're going with Moshe, you're going with Korah. There is nothing for you to win, to gain. It's a lose-lose situation. If you follow Korah, if Korah wins, you're still a loser. And if Aharon wins, you're still a loser. There's nothing in it for you. Why are you doing this? This is what On's wife tells him. Wow. Well, Ma'avdat, what did she do? Ashkete hamra, she gave her husband to drink. Ve'arvete, and she got him drunk. Ve'anginte be'arsa, she put him in the bed inside the tent. V'havayatva ababahi ubrata, she sat at the door, she and her daughter. Ve'satra lemaziyah, she unbraided her hair. We know that a woman's hair is inappropriate for another married man, for another man to see. Our rabbis tell us, Se'ar be'isha irva. The hair for a woman is private. It's only for her husband. And therefore, just like certain men cannot hear a woman sing, right? Different halachot about this. So she uncovers her hair, and she knew that the rebels would avoid seeing it, so they would stay away. This was her plan, and of how to keep them away from her husband, how to keep away the bad influence. Unbelievable. As bad as they were, they wouldn't dare be present if her hair was uncovered. This was the world back then. Well, Kol man de'ata b'shvil on ba'ala, whoever came for her husband on, kevan de'hazia, when he would see her uncovered, hadar, he would turn around. Adhachi v'hachi abla'inhu, and in the meantime, as On is sleeping away in his drunkenness, the ground swallows up those conspirators, and her husband is saved. And this is what it says, Hochmat nashim banta beita. A wise among women builds her house. This is On's wife. Veivelet beyadeha tehersenu. But the foolish one destroys it with her hands, and this is Korah's wife. On's wife saved his life. Korah's wife ruined his life. She actually incited her husband. She's the one that said to him that you deserve more. You should be the one in charge. What are you letting Korah, what are you letting Aharon and Moshe run the show? Honey, you're the guy. Korah's wife incited him, killed him. On's wife saved him. And the question is, it seems to be a bit extreme. It seems to be a bit of a stretch. Chochmat nashim, that the pasuk in Proverbs of Mishle, that you're going to say that there was a wise woman in history. And who is this wise among women? You know who it was? Who was the wisest of women? Not Sarai Imenu, not Rivka. You know who was the wisest of women? On's wife. Why? What was the wisdom of his wife? She told him, if Aharon wins, you lose, and if Korah wins, you lose. And I have a simple question. Does that really take tremendous amount of wisdom? It's a simple calculation. It's not deep at all. It makes sense. Me and you right now, we could think about that. Regardless of who prevails, you will not be a Kohen Gadol. That's a very simple, logical argument. Where is the sign of her great wisdom? Explains Rav Shraga Grossbart in his book Da'at Shiraga that her wisdom lay not in what she said. This is obvious what she said. It's very simple. But in her ability to stay composed in a time of chaos. You have to realize what was going on. Korah is coming with a lot of people. It was a huge hak. This was the talk of the town. Everybody's talking about this. Everyone's taking sides. And everybody's getting caught up and swallowed up, literally, not by the ground, but in this mahloket. Everyone's, I'm on this side, who's right? He's right there, right there, right there. And all of a sudden, a lot of times in life, when there's chaos, it could cloud the judgment. We get swept in the mob, get caught up by the mass, what people are doing. We become a herd, a sheep mentality. And this is what everyone's doing. We don't even think straight anymore. And there's many times in our lives that we are victim to this. You know, your kid spills something on the floor. He spilled the tehine. Has v'shalom, he should spill the tehine. Now in real time, he spilled the tehine. I don't get it. What kind of kid does that? How many times I tell him hold it with two hands? Look at the plate, right? It's like crazy. Here on a regular Tuesday morning, you could think clearly. What in the world are they yelling about? Because he spilled tahini. Why was I so, overwhelmed? Why did I get caught up? Because he He took the thing without asking. Okay, he shouldn't have done it. But we lose it for a cup of juice. We lose it. We go crazy. The wife forgot something in the house. She's late. The husband, he didn't come, he didn't do. Okay. So we made a mistake. Not a good thing. But in the test, in the chaos, it's like, right? The person gets angry. That's why Gemara says, Adam nikar bekiso bekoso ubkaaso. You can tell a person from their when they're drunk, from their wallet, when there's a lot of money at stake, and ka'aso when they're angry. In life, we cannot allow ourselves to respond when we're angry. That's why. Shtika yafeh lechachamim. Our rabbis say silence is golden. You say something when you're angry, you're gonna regret it later. Silence is golden. And On's wife, her greatness, her chokhmah, was that among all the tumult, she was able to stay composed. She was able to stay balanced. She didn't let all the nonsense get to her. All the chaos. The Jewish people, they at the Egel, what happens? How do you worship a golden calf? Because you panic. Where's Moshe? What's Moshe? Oh my God, Moshe's gone. Sometimes in life you got to take a deep breath. That's why I say when you're angry, don't respond. Just walk away. Just take a walk. Drink a cup of water. Count to 20. Have a hat that you wear. Because right now you're caught up in the excitement. You're caught up in the excitement. Nothing you say will help. Everything you say will be held against you. That's just the reality. A smart person understands that right now I'm not in control. I'm not in control. On's wife was able to help her husband. Most of us, on a regular morning like this, when we're calm, poised, we're able to, in an atmosphere that's, again, peaceful and quiet, we're all able to think clearly. Every one of us. We could think and contemplate and be deliberate and decide this is what's the right thing to do. This is what I should act. This is not the chokhmah. The chokhmah is in the moment, in the emergency. And so all of us are faced with this. And what the Torah is teaching us is that sometimes you don't need to go through this alone. You have a wife. You have a On Ben Pelet's wife situation. And a lot of times when the man is caught up, the wife knows how to keep things in perspective. She thinks clearly. She's not pulled into the different emotions, and vice versa. Sometimes the wife is caught up, and so the husband is able to think clearly. Husband gets into trouble when he doesn't realize if his wife's coming for advice or if his wife's coming to vent. That's really where most of the issues come up. The wife's coming for venting. She don't need your advice. She just wants you to listen. Problem is when she's coming to vent and then we offer advice and we say, I think you should, oh, you're not listening to me. I'm not listening. You're telling me this is the problem and here's the solution. He doesn't get it. And us women don't get it that we're dibs. We don't get it. Women have to say to us sometimes, you think we're smart because we have businesses and companies we make millions, but the guy is not smart. The guy really doesn't know what he's doing. A lot of times the guy is clueless. He's coming and he's trying to help. Woman says, Bunny, I just want you to know, I don't need your help. I just want your advice. I just want you to listen. One time a guy went to his rabbi. He said, I don't know what to do. Every time my wife complains, I try to help and we get into a deeper fight. The rabbi says, because you're not understanding your wife. She doesn't need your help. She just wants your support. He says, wow, really? Okay. next time you go home tonight, when you go, don't help. Just support her. Okay? The guy comes home after work. He gets there 8 p.m. He sees his wife on a step stool. She's leaning over. She's trying to screw in the light bulb into the chandelier. She goes, honey, can you come help me? He looks up. He says, honey, you're doing great. Keep going. You got this, honey. You like that one, Sony? So, a man's got to know, when is my wife looking for support? When is she looking for advice? But either way, the Torah is teaching us that when the man is all caught up, and that's why we have a wife, Torah says, God says it's not good for a man to be alone. Because alone, the amygdala, the emotional center of the brain kicks in. When you're emotional, you're not rational. The logic, the prefrontal cortex is gone. When you're emotional, it takes over. And then you're not making right decisions. Don't decide when you're emotional. Don't decide in the middle of the chaos. Don't do things over there. You're not going to make the right choice. You need the wife. You need the own wife. And that's why the Torah gave to man. Not good to be alone. Alone, you're going to make bad decisions. You're not going to think clearly. You're going to be biased. You're going to be jealous. You're going to be spiteful. You're going to be hatred. You're going to have revenge. You're going to want to... You need to ask the wife. Torah says, let me give him a ezer, a helper. Kenegdo, against him. Our rabbis ask, how could she be at the same time ezer and then kenegdo? How could it be? Either she's an ezer or she's kenegdo. She's either helping you or she's against you. How could she be a helper against you? So Gemara gives a very interesting answer. Gemara says, Zacha, if you merit, she's going to be an ezer, she's going to help you. Lo Zacha, if you don't merit, she's going to be kenegdo, she's going to be against you. That's what it seems like it's saying. If you merit, it's going to help you. If you don't merit, it's going to be against you. So what does that mean? If you merit, it's going to help you. Okay, how do I merit? So it's a little bit hard to understand, because it doesn't sound like it's saying that. It sounds like it's talking about the one wife. Ezer kenegdo. So others explain that both cases are helping. Ezer and kenegdo. Listen to this. I never saw this before, but it's a beautiful idea. You know, sometimes a man comes home, he brings a piece of wheat, he brings some food. The wife takes the kernels, she turns it into bread. She takes the flax, she turns it into clothing. He gives her the seed, she turns it into a baby. Right? Man on his own cannot do these things. He needs the wife for food, for clothing, for children. He gives her the unfinished product and she finishes it. She develops it. Women are very good at that, by the way. They're very good at building. That's why they're called Bina Yetera. They have heightened Bina. Heightened Bina. Bina is from the word livnot, is to expound upon your knowledge or whatever else. Women have that. They can build. They're builders. Man takes a raw. He gives it to the wife. She takes the raw and she finishes it. She completes it. She perfects it. She perfects him. She turns him raw into a better person. This is the wife's job. When the wife, you feel like she's always pounding you, Hazaku Baruch, that's what she's here for. She's only doing her job. She's building you. Now some women don't know how to build properly, they ruin. Again, Korah's wife ruined. A smart woman knows how to build. Chochmat nashim banta beita. She builds her husband. Livnot. And so this is the bina that they have. That's why man has to know when he enters a marriage, he's the giver. He's the giver. Hesed. Woman is din. She's the receiver. However, that's only in the beginning. The man initiates the relationship he has to give. But when a man does his job by giving, actually his wife becomes an even bigger giver than him. And she gives him back even more than he gave her. If he gives her a piece of wheat, she gives him a beautiful loaf of bread. If he gives her some flax, she gives him clothing. He gives her seed, she gives him a baby. When the man feels like the wife's not giving, it's because you're not giving her. If you do your job and you're giving, you'll see. You'll see she'll give you everything. But the man has to start. The man begins. The man is the hesed. He has to provide. Not just money and food and clothing. Emotional. And when the man does his job, emotional, the woman will give back 10 times more. That's what the guy has to realize. Rabbi, I'm not receiving from my wife. Yeah, because you're not giving her. You see, you give, you receive much more than you give her. Women inherently, they want to give. So when you get married, the man has to write a ketubah, signing to his wife, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you that. The wife doesn't have to sign nothing, because that's natural. That's natural. They want to give. They automatically, and when the man does his job, she's going to. Well, look at this. So one type of help is needed when the man is doing something like bringing her wheat and flax and seeds, and she's turning that into something beautiful. I guess in that way you could say that she's continuing her husband's growth. He started and she's continuing it. But a lot of times the man, he's limited, he's very narrow in his perspective and his understanding. And so to compensate, Hashem gave the woman to man. She could help her husband in this way, not by continuing, but by pointing out to him his flaws, by helping him grow, by helping him see straight, by knocking sense into the guy. What are you doing? You're a buffoon. They're laughing at you. Stop it. So here, she's also helping. She's helping in a completely different way. So he explains that a woman, therefore, is always helping her husband. The question is how. When he's doing worthy, productive activities, bringing bread, bringing clothing, bringing flax, then she's helping him grow by helping him, by being there side by side, complimenting. But when he's doing the wrong things, so she helps him grow by being against him. So that's what it means. Zacha, if he's doing appropriate things, then she's going to help continue those appropriate things, turning it into bread and into children. Lo zacha, but if he's going down the wrong path, so there she helps him by being kenegdo, by stopping him. Derail, go back that way. You're forgetting, you're missing the point. So she helps him by being against him, steering him back from the wandering position. And so, this, my friends, is something that we learn from our parasha, from On's wife. Beautiful, beautiful idea. Again, number one, to remember during the chaos, during the crisis, somebody falls, somebody gets hurt, everyone's in a panic. What's going on? Stay calm. I know it's hard, but that's the chokhmah. To be calm now when you're by yourself, okay, who needs that? What makes someone a calm person? Some people are calm, some people are not calm. What makes some people calm? In which scenario can you detect if they're calm or not? Over here on a regular morning, of course you're calm. I hope you're calm. If you're not calm on a regular morning when nothing bad happened, then you have issues. For sure, when everything's calm, of course you're calm. You know, one guy said, Rabbi, I'm calm until something happens. I hope so. The chokhmah is when there's things going on. Now, oh wow. Now you're getting excited. Frustrated. We're not in control. When everyone's going one way. So how do I keep my mouth shut? How do I not say something? How do I remember? How do I stay rational? How do I stay rational in emotional scenarios? Staying rational when I'm emotional. And a lot of times the Torah is teaching us you need the wife for that. You need the husband. You need the ezer kenegdo. It would be wise to realize, you know what, I'm emotional. Let me put my foot in my mouth. Let me stop over here. Let me listen. I can't think straight. I'm not going to make any wise decisions here. And like on, literally, you have to get drunk. You have to just turn your brain off. Just stop. Go to sleep. Let the wife handle. Let the wife handle. If you're emotional, let the wife handle. You're not going to do it. Chokhmat nashim baneta beta. That is the wise woman. And that is how you build a home. That's how you stop yourself from ruining your relationship with your kids, ruining your relationship with your spouse, ruining your company, your business, your family, not allowing arguments to just get overblown. You get heated. You say something. Later you apologize. You know you're going to apologize later. What are you saying for then? Keep your mouth shut. Bite your tongue. Hashem should help us and bless us to be able to always turn to those around us, our wives, our husbands, our friends, to be able to help us stay on the right path, Be'ezrat Hashem. We'll stop over here, my friends. Have a wonderful day, and hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.